The man was bound on the beach. As he looked up, a group of little people approached him. Letting out a roar, the man caused the earth to shake. He broke free from his restraints and stood up. The little people hurled a javelin, striking the man's shoe. Then, they threw hooks and caught onto his pants. With a strong pull, the man fell to the ground, made him unconscious. When he woke up, he found himself transported to the town. They put him into prison. He could only eat straw for sustenance. He was controlled and forced to work. One day, enemies invaded the town, setting fire to the palace. Forced to assist, the man went to the palace. He seized the enemies, saving the princess. Faced with the fire, he took off his pants. The soldier immediately covered the princess's eyes. The man urinated, extinguishing the flames, soaking the king in the process. The princess hugged her father. The king looked at the man and hailed him as a hero. Cheers erupted as they celebrated him, erecting a statue and hosting a banquet in his honor. When enemy attacked, the man was sent to guard the country. The man caught the cannonballs using his belly. He forcefully launched them back, damaging the enemy ship. He grabbed the ropes on the ship and towed them back to their country. The king was overjoyed and thanked the man for saving the nation. The man extended his hand for fist bumps with the soldiers. The king built him an apartment. The little people stood on his back, giving him massages. With weight-cutting scissors, they trimmed his hair. When the man went to the theater, they even constructed a special seat for him. The man lived happily every day. However, when the enemy attacked again, their machine transformed into a giant robot. Unable to push it, he fled, but the robot grabbed his clothes, lifting him up. Forced to surrender, the man watched as the enemy surrounded the king. In the end, the man was tied to a raft. The enemy caught the rope, allowing him to disappear into the mist. He floated to a new island, freeing himself from the ropes. He looked up, seeing towering buildings. Suddenly, a giant ball came crashing down towards him. The man was wearing a dress. He attempted to turn on the faucet, but no water came out. Suddenly, there was a violent tremor, and a giant girl appeared before him. Terrified, the man screamed as the girl shoved a bottle into his mouth. He struggled. The girl tossed him onto the bed and poked at him, causing discomfort. Then, she lifted his legs and began to jab at him with a safety pin. But thankfully, she only wanted to put a diaper on him. The man was unhappy. He was forced to play house with the girl. He rejected her request. This angered the girl. Go grab a doll. When she set it down, the doll was missing its head, frightening the man into compliance. He played along with the girl, even kissing the toy boy, too afraid to resist. At night, a man confided in a toy astronaut, only to discover a skeleton beneath the astronaut's suit. Feeling the danger, he returned to the toy bed to contemplate his next move. The next day, he decided to escape. Approaching the skeleton, he borrowed his parachute. Then, he leaped out and opened his parachute. With the parachute, he escaped from this horrible dollhouse.